Good evening, all Super Metroid Randomizer fan, and welcome back to Speed Gaming. We have another great randomizer race coming at you. This is winners quarterfinal action of the Super Metroid Randomizer tournaments for Speed Gaming Live Online 2023. We will be watching Zeb versus Glove. And my name is DJ. Joining me is Eddie. How's it going?
Oh, it's going great. I saw this matchup and I was really excited to get on comms for this one. Both of these players, extremely good runners. I would say Zeb is maybe one of the favorites of the tournament, but it is rando, and at this stage of the tournament, everyone is good, so it doesn't matter who you are. It's just going to be such an exciting matchup. I really would like to see kind of how this turns out, and glad I get to get this front row seat with you, DJ.
Yeah, we're on the tame side of the bracket. We're the only person who's not in the quarterfinals that should be is maybe in the commentary booth with me, but yeah, not the upset ridden top half of the bracket where 1, 4, 8, and 5 are all in the losers bracket. So Zeb definitely looking to hold suit and keep his place as the 2 seed of the tournament. And like you said, Glove definitely no slouch. She was the 7th seed and had was down 0-1 in the last series, had to come back. Zeb was also down 0-1 last series, if I remember correctly. So, like you said, everyone's good. No one's unbeatable. No one's unstoppable, and we're gonna have ourselves a doozy here.
Yep. Yeah. I'm just so excited. Honestly, I don't really know what to expect right now. We'll have to see what happens when these players go down and grab those first items, but. Yeah, I'm just so excited because, like I said, I've played and, both of these owners are my friends and I've raced against them numerous times. Glove was probably the person that I raced with the most for a rando league to get started on some, and she's obviously been around for ages in terms of rando. But Zeb also Zeb's the kind of guy, this mode, I think Zeb's played like thousands of this mode. Even before Rando League, he'll just come home and I think he just plays this for fun, like on a regular basis. So it's this is kind of like his territory in the sense, but I mean, Glove is also obviously extremely strong. So both these runners starting with his energy tank, so they're gonna have to get that morph out of the ceiling.
Yeah, also want to give a quick shout out. The other person in the booth with us is Plumps on tracking. He has all the hard work to push all the buttons and make the lines appear on your screen. So shout out to him, and we will, we'll see how this goes. There was a room that people call the pit room. You want to do it pitless. That didn't necessarily happen on, I think maybe both of their sides, but a little bit more trouble for Zeb as he's apparently it's patented for him to get second try deboost. I'm not 100% sure of the lore there, but if you get it on second try, it's better than missing both the first two.
Yeah, it gets kind of spicy if you miss the first two. I think I've seen Navdi recover with a third like a long deboost off the third try, but it's a little difficult. So if you don't get it within the first 2 tries, oftentimes people end up just like resetting their rooms, and that can quickly get out of hand. But double powerbomb start for both these players.
Yeah, you could see Zeb's face. It's definitely a surprising start just because of the 3 minor items. Power bombs have the lowest frequency of appearing, so to get 2 out of 2 at the beginning is definitely interesting. It's kind of a little awkward, honestly, depending on what this one is right here, as it's a normal missile. People very much like to check this transition and almost always follow it. There are some places where I think most people, including these two, would probably follow Red Brain if they found it. I kind of don't like it without supers, just because they're all super doors, but Proc is definitely not happening.
They're not doing this one. Oh, Glove with the bad door transition. I have to point that out. Glove wall jumping off the right side of the door, breaking the door, losing like a second there. Come on, Glove. Oh, taking a hit there, but with the extra E-Tank they started from the head at the start, they'll be completely fine.
Yeah. So we're going to be doing the same thing thus far. The good thing about that extra powerbomb pack, you'll notice a lot of times when runners do this start and you only have 1 powerbomb pack and then you go left and come back, you've used 4 powerbombs, and if you only have 5 total, you check this minor and that's it. That isn't the case here. We've got an entire extra pack. We can check this. We could check 230 if we felt like. We don't necessarily have to save at the ship to refill. Smooth sailing.
Yeah, so I was gonna say, with this pit room, they're really looking for a super. In general, you always just grab this if you have the extra power bomb because you really want to search for those minor items as soon as possible. But you know, if you don't, one of the most important things, obviously, as you're mentioning before, is you really need to find at least one super pack because there's a lot of things you can't do without the super pack, especially in like Red Brinstar. So if they didn't get a super pack there, 230 is generally not something you always want to check because it's pretty slow. You have to open the door. There's 2 door transitions each way. So if you don't have the super, I would generally check the 230 pick. But because they got the super pack, they're just going to go ahead and skip it because it takes too long just for the minor check. They are going to head over to this major at Bomb Teresa though. Glove firing a super at the door.
Sometimes, you know, you miss 2 or 3 wall jumps and you got to take your anger out somewhere. So why not a blue door that doesn't need a super to open it, you know?
Yep. So the screw attack. So, you know, I think even with 10 power bombs, what I expect them to have both done is to go out, save with the ship, and then go gauntlet. Once they finish gauntlet, they would go to Terminator, grab that major, and then check the 2 portals. But I mean, the screw attack even more so. I mean, they could even consider probably not even ship refilling, but I kind of suspect both of them still will, just because having the save at this point is kind of nice in case you get into weird situations. Okay, Zeb's not going to save; he's just going to go straight for it. Glove is going to take this save, refills those power bombs, has the save in case you know you get into some weird situations on the bottom left of criteria. But I think Zeb, knowing that. This is a little spooky. I know Zeb takes this very aggressively. Like you're gonna see him jump to the center right here. Obviously, anyone that's done Gauntlet, yeah, anyone that's done Gauntlet before, you know, when they're starting out a randomizer, has died here like 30 times. But you know, Zeb, very seasoned rando player, knows how to get through there, no problem. And they're rewarded with the wave beam.
Yeah. Also, quickly, you've been talking about majors versus minor locations. We're not psychic here in the commentary booth or on the runner side. This is a major minor item split mode, which means that things like E-tanks, reserve tanks, unique items, and such are all shuffled in one pool, and you know where they are. So, if you want to find Very, you're not going to look somewhere that would be a missile in the regular game, stuff like that.
It's also important to note that the criteria cannot have any of the suits. So these majors are a little bit weaker than if they had gone to, you know, a different location and got it. But that does not to say that these majors are useless, especially in the early game.
Yeah, and this was a vanilla back of Gauntlet, so, you know, 10 power bombs is definitely good early on. You would probably prefer to, like, if you had 10, 10, 10, you wouldn't complain at all. But, you know, the only 5 supers is a little bit, you know, less than what you'd want. But so far, they're doing all right. And yeah, of the what's that? We have like 3 non-E-tank majors other than, you know, the morph ball already, which is pretty not common. Just because like over half of the items in the major pool are tanks. So
yep. Okay, so getting that croc portal of Upper Norfair, Zeb's not going to follow that. You know, ideally, both these runners are kind of just looking for like green Bryn. That'd be like the most ideal kind of portal here, or like red Bryn is another one that obviously is going to be pretty common. But oh, double Upper Norfair. So we have croc portal and we have single chamber, and Zeb noping out of there with the current amount of health that he has. So this will be interesting. So both of these players are going to run across criteria at this point. Check the other 2 portals. Once again, searching for that green-red Bryn kind of combo. Also, if they find the business center side of Upper Norfair, they'll definitely check those items. But yeah, other than that, they just grabbed X-ray. At this stage of the game, X-ray is not going to really be doing much for you. But DJ, I don't know if you got to see a previous match where X-ray actually became kind of an important pickup. But there are some use cases for it that can let you break logic. You know, obviously there's ways you can break the game with it, but as of right now, not too super useful. The main kind of thing that it's going to be used for is if something like charge plasma for the microwave. But both these players are going to probably check both these portals and then hope to find something good to follow.
yeah, I missed a lot of the races last week. I was messing around out on the West Coast, but I'm back home and happy to be seeing more races. And yeah, Chad was pointing out Zeb still hasn't saved, and this is Glove's second save. That's not insignificant part of the difference in time as far as where they are right now. But you know, That save, it could end up a thing where it like literally doesn't matter, and it could put in position as we find more Norfair. Like
Back
everything is
of
Norfair
M.
here.
Yeah. So for Zeb, I think things could have gotten kind of awkward if you found like Green Bryn there, because I think what Zeb's gonna do is he's gonna back out and go check the moat portal. I don't think he wants to isolate that portal. No, he's gonna go down here first. Okay, so oh, he's taking a save. All right.
Glove doesn't want to isolate the moat portal, and this is actually more what I expected. If you're confident in getting your CWJ here, which is the only way they have across the moat, and pretty quickly, you probably want to be in Red Bryn.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is more along the lines of what I expected. Zeb's also like a very prominent don't isolate one portal kind of person, so a little
That's
surprising that
interesting.
this
He's
is
isolating it. Guess he doesn't want to
Yeah.
rely on the CWJ, but that is a little bit surprising that he's isolating this. Ooh,
Yeah.
that's good. Glove getting it on the second try.
Second try with screw attack on, not
Oh well,
not a free thing. And yeah, the save that I talked about, this is a place where it matters because Glove can just freely fall down here, and kind of whether you like these or not, you can just be like, hey, you know, whatever, I'm coming back to the ship.
Yeah, I mean, this is getting okay. Glove just sacking that item there. This is getting pretty spicy. So Zeb did save and is going to be doing this extra D boost to get across. Found Kraid's lair in the middle of Red Bryn, and Glove is going to go ahead and you know, check one or two of these portals here because she does have that save from the ship. Okay, that's not really what she wanted to find. Back of wrecked ship. And DJ, you know, if she finds like Green Bryn here, there's like a chance it could be catastrophically bad. Because like it could I could see a way that this could be like the longest soft lock in existence. So this could be a little interesting depending on the portal. But okay, it's just Red Bryn. We're fine.
Oh, interestingly, yeah. So that is gonna be information Glove's gonna have for quite a while, probably, that Zeb doesn't. Oh, and yeah, she's on the other side of Red Tower versus where Zeb is, and you know, isn't at X-ray right now, and checking that as well as the elevator portal, which is another one you kind of hate to isolate, but you know, here we are. And on that point of longest soft lock ever, I don't know if you were watching Randomizer last year. I know you weren't participating, but Zeb is actually probably the person who's had like literally that exact situation where like map station, or it was like the Main Street was like Green Bryn, and then map station was like a dead end, and then the other parts of Green Bryn were like a lower Norfair and like some East Meridia, and he didn't have either suit or high jump, and like it cost him 20 minutes and he lost.
Oh god, yeah. That's always I don't think I've actually had that happen to me before, but I always get some scares, you know, like you're going up Red Tower, you don't have power bomb, something like that. But yeah, that can always be a little bit spooky. But it looks like so far they've kind of converged. But it looks like both these players kind of have slightly different portal information. Obviously Glove having some information on the West Meridian portals, but Zeb having kind of all of Red Tower completed at this point. But both these players are going to be heading into Green Bryn, so as of right now, they kind of look, basically they're going to be kind of tied minus the portal knowledge.
Yeah, I'm gonna say that the potentially the more important to know the knowledge is Kraid's lair, because like, you know,
Yes.
I mean, the middle portal of Red Tower is kind of the one that's awkward to get to because there's
Yep.
not one or two others by it, and it's a dead end. Like that's the other thing that makes it kind of weird.
Yep.
So, but obviously Zeb didn't check the boss, so like the fact that he knows it's there is good, but like whatever goods it holds are, you know, unknown to all of us for now.
Yes. Honestly, there could be a very good chance. Trying to see. I'm trying to
Other
stare,
end of
stare at the portals.
Meridia.
There's a lot of lines kind of converging on each other, but I mean, there's a possibility that Glove doesn't get back to that Kraid's lair for a while, so that could be bad. Zeb obviously has to go back eventually because doesn't want to waste the time on the boss. That's the thing with once again for this mode, it's major minor area as you can see, but it's also boss rando. So that's kind of the problem with checking something like Cradesler early on. It's good to have the information sometimes, but like, you know, in the beginning of the game, you could typically only complete 2 out of the 4 bosses. So yes, the information can help, but you may also just have a pretty big time loss, especially if someone can complete the boss and when they come back at a later time. So Zeb deciding not to just take that time loss early, it doesn't want to see the boss and just wants to head forward and see what the portals were.
Well, Eddie, if you just frame it as a time loss, you're not giving it the ability to not be. So you don't know. It's possible that, like, you know, it's vanilla crate and it has everything you want.
Yes.
It's possible that it's Fan-Tune and like Wreck Ship is this other portal and it wants you to have that done. Like, there was a race in the first round where like the seed wanted you to like do a bunch of nonsense running around, but the way that the runners played it, they like tripled the nonsense running around that they had to do because they didn't check a boss early. And like there was a crazy chain that you would expect out of a slow progression speed, which this wasn't, but like it happened. So like, you know, it can be a time loss and it can also be the keys to victory. That's the nature of randomizer. You just don't know.
Absolutely. All right, so both these players are gonna get ice, and they have spring ball. So we're kind of getting the keys to having like a lot of suitless meridian action going on here. Obviously, the missing piece right now is gonna be high jump. But yeah, I mean, we'll see how this turns out. Could be kind of spicy, DJ.
Yeah, and the other thing you said that, you know, the crate, we talked about how the crate knowledge was something that Glove's not going to have for all. Because the other portal she doesn't have is exactly the back of Lower Norfair, like, she pretty much has to, like, go back into Red Tower to check those two. Like, one of them's a dead end and you literally can't get it from the other side. And the other one is back Lower Norfair, and I don't know. There are ways that it could play out such that she does find it from the other side, but kind of unlikely, and it's also not, you know, desirable.
Ooh, grappling beam. Okay. So that's kind of interesting. Like, I wonder if if Zeb had that grappling beam and saw Cradesler, I wonder if that would make his change his mind, because now he has like a solution. Obviously, it still would have been kind of sketchy, but it is given his health and resources, but it is a solution for Dragon. So that does make 3 out of the 4 bosses completable at this point.
Yeah, the thing about the, you know, the grapple out of Dragon is like, if you're suitless and your like escape plan is grapple, it's probably also your best kill plan, especially for time, and it just gets kind of spooky because, you know, I mean, he went in there with 1 tank and then, you know, found another one at X-Ray, and even still he has 3 tanks right now. Like, that's kind of not enough to do both if you take like any hit from anything. So yeah, it's definitely, you know, moving the needle, but it hasn't moved the needle as far as, you know, it could. And there's the missing piece.
The suitless Meridia starter pack, like the end game pack. Actually, you got ice, you got high jump, you got spring ball, you got grapple, you got everything. It's pretty great.
So I do believe that getting out of map station with high jump, ice, spring ball, well, actually I think it's just high jump, ice, is in logic actually. So like, you know, the fact that, you know, from Zeb's perspective, like, he only knows that part of the West Meridia puzzle. Obviously Gloves knows that like the top stuff is accessible or whatever, but like, you know, Zeb could be thinking like, wow, like it wants me to do that, and like frankly there's not a ton of other options that aren't like, you know, hell runs, which he has the grapple, so the X-ray tank is in logic that he has. Love fell down. It looked to me like she was thinking about saving, but given that she knows all of the weird West Meridia stuff, the save's really not necessary.
Yep.
But like, you know, yeah, that could be something that's on Zeb's mind. You can, you know, if you like to read facial expressions and body language through a camera, you know, be my guest. Glove. You can just go get Mama Turtle. Have the thought. She doesn't have the thought.
Turn it around.
She wants the red Brent Star goods, but I think Zeb does that, and that's gonna like almost even up. Like, actually, it's gonna even up like all the knowledge probably. Because especially with grapple, you can just do it all. Yeah, unbelievably good, frankly.
Because Zeb is essentially getting the item, the major, from that Glove couldn't get at the time, and he's going to be picking up all the knowledge. So it just ended up being very efficient for him. So so far it's looking really strong for Zeb, and Glove is choosing to go back, as you said, to Red Tower.
Yeah. One of those area changes here is this save that you can do. There are positions where you could be here. Sorry, excuse me. You could be here and like want to check that door, but like not necessarily be able to get back up. And you know, there's other ways that is a good thing. So yeah, I guess not getting any extra portal knowledge is probably something that weighed on Glow's mind as far as this play. Because you could have just ended up right back at the bottom though. Like I don't know. Obviously the progression speed that we're playing on is such that like it's not like purposefully, you know, like leaving you breadcrumbs, but like
yes,
it's so tempting.
Yep. Yeah, it's important to know if anyone's curious on how these maps are generated. This is the progression speed is speedrun. I don't know exactly where it's called that, but essentially the way that the items are placed, it's literally the algorithm just drops all the items and portals in just like a location, and then it just says like, hey, does this work? And if it works, then it's yes. So therefore you can't really, you know, make some sort of deduction based on, oh, this item's here, so therefore like this is probably over here. It's not really so much like that. It's kind of like everything's very, very random in this situation.
Yeah, and you saw Zeb. I want to say he went in the moat portal, saw it, came back, and then was like, wait a second, there's a miner there, and picked up his 30th power bomb.
Yep.
Because he wanted it, so...
Yeah.
So Glove is not in danger. Yeah, it's because of the grapple. It's like you can get grabbed and like you can just, you know, curse the thing under your breath and move on instead of being like, I might die.
Yep. You never want to take too much damage, especially because you know, both these players have finished out the Green Bryn area. So you can get into a situation where you may have to consider doing hell runs relatively soon. You don't really want to be doing it on this easy tanks, but it's possible that they won't necessarily have a choice. But Glove, being able to complete 3 out of the 4 bosses, decides this is the time to check the boss. So this could obviously, like, you know, the ultimate situation. This is like Kraid, and it has a suit. Both suits, that would be the sickest thing. But yeah, we're gonna see. Hopefully, if it's Ridley, that's obviously going to be kind of troublesome, but she does at least gain the knowledge for that, and that can make decisions based off on lower, no for better. Oh my gosh!
It's destiny. I mean, literally the last race that Zeb had, this was like the exact thing that like his opponent didn't check it, and like that was just kind of game. Here, it's not. It's a lot less certain that it's game, but like,
oh my goodness,
you know,
yeah, this is. It's just you know, both players being very reasonable with their options, but like, you know, Zeb isolating that like moat portal and like everything else, like kind of, it's just everything's working perfectly for him because he doesn't get punished with the isolation. He ends up finding it later, and then, you know, on top of that, he's like, you know, gets the gravity in a suitless area. So wow, this is really, really good for Zeb.
Yeah, and one of the other things I was going to mention was that exact thing that Zeb just found. Even without the gravity suit that they found, like it was possible that like his Glove reset the boss before I could see what it was. I mean, it has to have been Ridley, otherwise she wasn't going to reset.
Yeah.
Right? But I was going to say, like, this could have been Fantune, and like that portal that Zeb just saw could have been like their answer, and that's regardless of the gravity suit they found. So like there were a lot of different things that could have gone, and yeah, Zeb is probably, unfortunately, about to just clean that oh wait, I was about to say he's going to clean that crate up potentially, but what he's actually going to do is East Meridia, because we have gravity and ice.
Yep.
And unbeknownst to him, he's gonna find a killable boss because, you know, Ridley's here.
All right, so Zeb quickly going down the left sand pit first. I think at this point he's sort of trying to like follow a little bit of the logic. Now, this is obviously just a quick major that he can check. We'll see what he gets here, and we'll see. I think Glove is probably going to go head over and pick up those portals and bombs. Definitely want to grab those for now.
You have spring balls up. Stop making this hard.
He's going to make it hard.
He probably just remembered. That's the look on his face.
All right, let's see. Yeah, yep.
Yep. You remembered. Yeah. So the one thing that I will say about this, I'm gonna use the word fortunate with a lot of air quotes and hesitation in my voice, but like she's actually still not far away from the top of West Meridian, so she can get this gravity like obviously less optimally than what we saw Zeb do, but like still within a decent time frame, and it's no longer a CWJ because of grapple. So like
exactly.
her other options are like low tank hell runs all the way on the other side of criteria and a croc at the bottom of criteria, so like kind of expect it, but yeah, seeing that she's gonna be like, I could have just done this and been fine.
Yeah, honestly, I can't really fault her. In the end, it kind of just worked out really well for Zeb. Zeb's gonna go ahead and snail clip this.
My exact words were unbelievably good, and that was before I knew it was Gravity Suit. Like it was, and like I said, because like what we saw Glove do, right? Like she just ran back through Green Bryn and ended up in Red Brinstar, which you could have done at the bottom of this area anyway. Like it's
that's not good.
She's not happy because she fell too fast and she knew it. Luckily, there's a spring ball in her apparatus.
Yeah,
it's double if you don't freeze the fish, and she hasn't frozen the fish, so this is not easy.
The problem here is it's a double spring ball jump.
She's got a smile on her face. Yeah, nailed it.
Perfect. That was sick. All right, I was gonna say because here's the thing: like you double spring ball jump. There's two ways to go. You do a single spring ball jump, and then you can make it on top of the fish. But the other way you do it is you double spring ball jump, but that fish kind of got really close to her. So, but
you were worried about both getting hit and missing it, and also like health. Like fish hit hard on power suit.
Exactly.
Yeah. Ooh,
she's not.
Don't
happy.
Read lips. Those are things that don't exist.
About that one.
What's happening on your screen is an illusion. Yeah, she knows. She very much knows.
Yep.
Like,
because that could have been like incredibly good for her. I think she regrets not having fell down that one time when you got to the top of Green Bryn. Instead, checking the other stuff. But all right, well, she gets her gravity suit, so she's gonna be trailing behind here. Now it's gonna be interesting to see what she does. So Zeb probably has to be still a little bit concerned here, because he still can't beat Ridley and does not have the knowledge that Glove does that Ridley is at crate. So this is gonna work out for him once again. But he's got to be like a little bit nervous at this moment. But we'll see kind of how this progresses the seed for him.
Yeah, and from Glove's position, yeah, she had two different boss area choices. She chose this one, which is the same one Zeb chose, East Meridia. The difference between them is that there's definitely accessible majors here, and there's potentially only one major accessible in Wreckship. The other thing is that both of these portals, so if you want to, you can just come back out the other side of this.
Yep.
On Wreckship, you are probably following to the front, and that could spit you out anywhere. This looks like kind of regardless to be the better play because it's fan-tuned, so you can go to Wreckship next and definitely do whatever you want. So, yeah, we're gonna have to see, what ends up happening. There's you were talking about following the logic here a little bit. It's kind of hard to do that exactly. Well, it's hard to do that completely in this scenario, just because of the croc that exists that no one wants to do.
Yep.
But yeah, this looks like it's definitely something that no one's gonna be upset that they did at this juncture of the race.
Yes. So there's the one issue I was gonna say is the E-Tank situation is a little sketchy, but there's a very good chance that these players don't end up finding Varia. We do have knowledge of where the back of Lower Norfair is. That being said, one of the sketchy things right now is we also don't know where Turian is. So I think these players will both want to kind of find Upper Norfair and collect all those portals to see that it's reasonable to do. May potentially finish this game on just the gravity suit without the Varia, because like as you said, the players have not. Croc is still there. It could have a suit. It could have a lot of goodies. So If that's not the case, then they're gonna have to finish this game with what they have right now. Plus some more
Glove
ammo.
tried to do the super pro strat of the right side snail clip. Unfortunately, didn't get it. I don't think it wasted too much time versus just waiting for it to come. But she's definitely looking at this like I think probably she expects of herself like I should have just done the dang thing and gotten the gravity, and she probably also expects Zeb to have done that. So
Yep.
if you could save a second here, you're gonna save a second.
Yep.
Within your power. And
Yeah,
we
so
can obviously see that it's probably 2-3 minutes separating them right now. Oh, it's probably more than that. Oh, but somewhere in that area.
Mm-hmm. That's gonna be curious to kind of see how these players would approach it. Like right now, you would kind of think, if you're kind of like playing randomizer and you kind of trying to follow like, okay, what can I do next? One of the natural things that you might think of is like, yeah, I could do wreck ship, right? Fantoon's dead. I can do all that stuff. The kind of the issue there is there's a few issues. Wreck ship, we don't know where Turian is yet. So if the front of wreck ship is Turian, that can be kind of a disaster, especially if the wreck ship itself does not have something that's like really, really important. But at this point of the game, as long as we collect some E-tanks, even Varia is not necessarily required, especially given that we know that Ridley is at the Kraid's lair. Now, Zeb doesn't know that, but Ridley being at Lower Norfair makes it like a lot more inaccessible to do hell runs unless you have a ton of resources. But given that Ridley's not there, we only need just a few more E-tanks, and we can do this fairly comfortably, especially given the fact that we have so many power bombs and grapple. So it's going to be interesting to see. I think what Zeb probably wants to do at this point is probably just find Upper Norfair and just like collect the portals to see what he has to do to beat this game.
Yeah, I am with Nevny in chat. I very, very much expected Zeb to clean up Kraid's lair at this point, just because, like we've been talking about, like more than likely you're going like through this wreck ship back to front, and you're following that.
Yep.
So like again, like knowledge of Ridley, like he's probably still not in a place where he's killing Ridley on 4 tanks and 25 supers, but like still the knowledge of Ridley is good, especially for like how you're playing the rest of the seed. And also, like, coming here to wreck ship, like, yes, the items are here, and more than likely, even if Ridley was here, like, you can get yourself into a situation where Ridley's killable, but, like, that maybe requires you doing an addict that you maybe don't want to do, as well as some other stuff that's going on. Like, to me, like, cleaning up Kraid there seemed like the safest and, definitely the most thorough option.
Yep.
So, like, that was something I was going to say that was going to, lessen, like the distance between Glove and Zeb is less than what it looked like, and that was one of those things that was going to close it to be more accurate, but it didn't happen.
Yes, absolutely. So as I was saying before, obviously at the front of wreck ship is Turian. That's would be horrible. It would be like pretty bad, but
it's bad if
there are a lot of there's a lot of outstanding portals at this point. Realistically, the most likely scenario is that this just leads somewhere into Upper Norfair. So you kind of have to play your percentages here. I think Zeb understanding, like, yes, sometimes it's kind of bad, but there's a good chance that it's just going to go to where I want to go, which is probably Upper Norfair next. So Zeb is going ahead and just clearing up these majors. I'm interested to see how he approaches this. Like, he's probably, okay, he's going to check this minor, and I guess he's going to check right side, and then he'll probably go ahead and save, and then I'd be curious to see what he decides to do afterwards.
Yeah, so there's 3 like sets of transitions that we don't know. So as far as percentages, I don't know what that means for the likelihood that this is Turian. Like, part of me wants to say 1 in 6, part of me, or 1 in 3, and the other part of me wants to say 1 in 5. Which one of those is true? Talk to your favorite math professor. But like, yeah, it's I mean, if he finds Varia here, he's not saving, right? But otherwise, yeah, like another save that's going to be something Glove isn't going to do. That
Yep. So Nevny pointing out something
advantage she gets, she's going to take here.
Nevny pointing out something that's pretty important. I think Zeb has all the portal knowledge that Glove does at the moment. But yes,
yeah, they have the same knowledge.
If it becomes a situation where Upper Norfair is connecting to itself, that tends to be a lot rarer. So if that's the case, it's like extremely unlikely that Turian's going to be at the front. The odds drop dramatically if that's the case. just because something looping onto itself is less common. There's less permutations of that happening generally.
Yeah, and Zeb is upset that he still hasn't found a super in the, I guess, 2 minor tricks he's done in here, including spooky missiles when they're actually spooky. You know, as far as damage is concerned, instead of being spooky, and the darkness and the ghost that appears.
Yep. Okay, so Zeb is very much using the wreck ship as a means to grab a few majors and then head over, ideally, almost certainly, to Upper Norfair. So does want to figure out those portals to see what kind of situations he's in.
I think he wanted. Yeah, I think what he mostly wanted was a super. Honestly,
gets the super. But yeah, now he's gonna check this how he's gonna approach this. Okay, he's just gonna follow this now.
And yeah, dude, it's interesting. So here's the thing about crates there, right? Like, we know that, like, probably you're going past that area because you want to do the back of Lower Norfair. So in that sense, it's not that out of the way, right? So like that part of it, it's like whatever, like you're not worried about that. But because Glove has this knowledge, again, like Zeb didn't do a boss we know he could do, and he's still worried about Ridley. Like, I've waxed poetic 100 times about how much Ridley and Rex ship sucks, and so is everyone. Like, it's not a good thing. You use supers. Like, he went through a door that he had to shoot green on the other side, all this stuff, whatever, right? But that's something, like, this boss could just have Varia, and, like, Glove wins if that happens, right? Like, almost certainly.
This Ridley knowledge that Glove has is really kind of like showing the power of that Ridley knowledge is actually kind of showing right here, because Zeb just doesn't want to waste time checking that boss, given what's like the other options that he has. So he's sort of pushed in this direction, right? So yeah, I mean, this is pretty fascinating. I'm curious to see what boss is going to show up here and like how that works out for Glove, because this could be really good.
Yeah. One thing I will say about Glove, from kind of listening to him both on his stream and on commentary, and I guess also as well in chat, like, to me it feels like he plays every seed like Very is awful, and I like want to not get it because I'm good at not getting it. And sometimes I feel like that actually is kind of to his detriment. Like, I mean, I've said this, quite a bit ago. Like, Croc has been like, sitting at the bottom of Praeteria this whole seed. We've known about it. No one's going there. I can assure you that right now. So, like, in that scenario where, like I'm saying, like Zeb's mind, his thought process works out like, I don't care about Very at Croc. I'm just going to do whatever I want and, like, skip it. But, like we said, that's one of the things where, the knowledge that, I mean, I said it earlier, I'm going to say it again, like, you're calling it a time loss without knowing it's a time loss. Like, Varia can just be here, and not wanting to lose a minute, it could cost you 7 at the end of the race.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, it's in the end. Ooh, charge. That's a good find, given that the supers have kind of dried up a little bit for both these players. Although they haven't, done any above them on. But yeah, it's sort of that's the cool thing about this mode, right? It's sort of you're picking up pieces to solve an issue. So it's funny because in the beginning, they have gravity now, but how do you beat, Meridia boss? How do you beat Dragon? And then they have like all these tools at their disposal to finish that in the beginning. Obviously, the ideal situation is you just pick up something like gravity right away. But yeah, the funny thing is, like, once you kind of get several crystal flashes, you have like grapple, you have screw, and you have a bunch of E-tanks. Spending the time on the additional checks for Varia can sort of start adding up like pretty quickly. Now, obviously, if they're really close, you still want to do it. But crate for Glove.
Yeah, and here's the other thing. So the last 2 portals that Zeb doesn't know, he just didn't look at. Again, another thing where like we know that like something here is Turian, something here is the front of Lower Norfair. It's it's those. That's what those 2 doors lead to. I guess he knows that, and on that front, it like. You know what? Once I started saying it out loud, it actually doesn't matter they didn't check those. Like, one of them's Turian, and you have to come back here anyway.
Yes. I think the only situation is if Upper Norfair, the top 2 portals loop, and then we have Turian in the front. I think.
Zeb that is possible.
Yes. So I think Zeb is very aware of that being a possibility, but I think the odds are just very low. so is going to kind of just let it go right there. Because he mostly wants to do back to back. So this is gonna be interesting. Now, obviously, if Business Center loops onto itself, oh my god, that'd be
absolute
really funny.
shambles. The most shambles you've ever seen in like any race.
That'd be pretty hilarious, to be completely honest. But yeah. This is gonna be interesting. Let's see. So, where's Glove at this point with 25 supers? It's a little sketchy, but if she finds another super pack, she's very incentivized to just head over to Kraid as soon as possible, especially because she took care of Kraid just now. So she's effectively going to be getting two major checks on that. Now, obviously, Varia is not going to be behind. Varia is not going to be behind Ridley, so you know there's a little bit less value in that. But I mean, 2 major checks it's kind of nice.
Yeah, so at this point we know that neither Space Shuttle nor Plasma have the Varia suit. Those are like the only 2 places that aren't like Ridley and Firefleet, which can literally never have Varia.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so yeah, the interesting thing, there was some talk in chat about like if you're Zeb, like the best thing, probably the best outcome is you find Varia, you do Ellen back to front, and you end up either at Turian because of the nonsense looping on itself, or you end up literally right next to it. If you don't find Varia though, you kind of price yourself out of that option in a lot of scenarios, depending on, you know, the major Firefleet and your current stuff. I think the actual wave room is unheated, so Glove's fine. But yeah, so yeah. And I was also gonna say, this and I wasn't sure, but maybe the worst boss that Glove could have found there was Kraid, just because like the locker tempts you very, very much, and you kind of don't want to do that right now.
Mm-hmm.
But if we come here and we find not Varia at Speed Booster, unless it's speed itself, like we're gonna have a very finite number of places where Varia can be, and one of them is Kraid's locker, which benefits Glove a lot still, because like I said, like you are going past that on your way to Lower Norfair, like unequivocally.
Ooh, this is getting really interesting. I mean, it's you know, it's one of the things that we're talking about, but like, you know, the Ridley knowledge is something I feel like when I'm on comms or whatnot, I always kind of say like, yeah, the Ridley knowledge is important, but it never just ends up panning out that way, right? Even though that is how it is, it's important, but like this is a situation where the Ridley knowledge has been quite important, and it might be really, really big.
I mean, I don't even know, like we're looking at this, right? Like obviously Zeb's done with Bubble Mountain, he's leaving back now, and I guess like because what's he doing now? Because like my brain was about to say like you're probably going back through Wreck Ship now, so it's not like an out of the way thing for you. But like if he's not doing exactly that, which I think he's probably, you know, doing that from this area, but like I was gonna say like, you know, Glove's probably not doing that. I don't know. There's too many possibilities, and again, like you said, probably both of them are good doing Lower Norfair right now. It's just, I mean, again, it's just is this dumb business center loop a thing that exists, and Varies like that much more valuable in this seed than we know?
Well, Zeb, as of right now, he can't do Lower Norfair from the back because he doesn't know if Ridley's there or not, right? He still hasn't checked that Kraid boss. So, I mean, Glove has that option, but Zeb is kind of still in a sketchy situation, needs more information before he can kind of decide on what he wants to do, which is why I think he's in this boss right here.
And this is he didn't refill his health, because so like, I mean, in his brain this can still be Ridley, and he just used 10 supers he'd rather have on Ridley. Like, yeah, I'm confused why he did exactly what he just did.
He'll be fine.
It's not gonna matter.
He's gonna grab this extra because he just needs 30, so he'll be fine. And he has the extra missiles, and his health is pretty good, so it'll be kind of a tight fight. I expect he's gonna missile the Ghidorah door to be a little extra safe, but I'm sure with the save right here, he can take care of this fight. It'll be a little tricky, but you know, well, obviously
it's great, yeah. It's not gonna be tricky at all, but yeah, from his perspective.
Yeah. From his perspective, like this will be kind of a tricky fight, but it's very doable. I think he really, because he is equipped to kind of take care of everything at this point. Like he'll almost certainly missile this Ghidorah door, and then he'll fight Kraid, and then he'll probably feel a little bit bad. But yeah,
The point in chat about full reserves, which you get from the Crystal Flash that you don't from the health refill, which is very much true. It's just like, I don't know. Things are like, obviously like the omniscience of the commentary booth or whatever tells us like Glove's best way to like pretty much like re-even herself up is to skip the business center stuff. She's not gonna do that, I'm gonna tell you that right now. Because like she's gonna pop in and out of Kraid's lair. The other unfortunate thing, like we didn't mention this because Zeb did this upper north stuff in a way that I would classify as like semi weird, but he found Charge Beam and didn't have to pick up all this. Like Zeb's at 80-25, and like honestly, Charge is gonna be annoying because of how many missiles she has.
Yeah. So Glove, you can see she kind of threw her hands up there. Is going to be able to get through this frog speed wave without speed booster because you have a little glitch with wave spacer. But yeah, you can see she kind of threw her hands up a little bit because she really wants to have 30 supers.
It's all been coming up missiles, as you can see. Like, I mean, it's supposed to be like pretty much it's 3, 2, 1, so like 50% more likely to have a missile than a super, basically.
Yep.
But this is you would expect her to have like 45, 30. That's 50% more. This is like triple for no reason. And here's she's not gonna be happy at this Charge Beam. I'm gonna tell you that right now. Oh, you didn't see that either. Nothing happened.
Yep. Not what she wanted to see, that's for sure. After collecting 85 missiles, that's always a kind of a slap in the face, honestly. Supers, of course, are always welcome unless you have like full beam combo. But yeah, it's when you collect that many missiles, it always feels bad.
Yeah, and we're gonna see. Was this? I think it was a tank just because of what Zeb's health was when he was doing this stuff earlier, but didn't go too far, so yeah, still has a mock ball chance. But yeah, as you can see, Zeb did not want to do top of wreck ship without the speed booster. His only accessible item is gravity suit location.
Yep. So Zeb he's gunning it for that Kraid lair. He needs to know now, like if this is Ridley or not, because it's a really big deal. Because his super count to do a back of LN with Ridley there is not quite. You kind of need like 50 to feel like kind of relatively comfortable. Obviously you can do it. He's got a grapple, so he can just kind of do it. But this information is super valuable, and the moment that he sees that it's going to be Kraid's lair, and honestly, as of right now, based on like what we've kind of done, there's a really decent chance that there is like going to be something good at Kraid's closet as well. There aren't that many majors left, I think.
I mean, the ones that are left that can be Varia are here, Croc,
okay,
the top of wreck ship ones.
Yep.
And Spring Ball.
Yep. So with that reserve knowledge, I think these players are going to be pretty set on just never finding Varia, because as you said, all pretty much really slow checks for Varia at this point. So they're going to want to. I mean, even if Ridley was at the back of LN, I think this is like they're going to just figure out a way to be able to do it. Whether it means just farming at the pre Ridley room for a really long time. That's just kind of how they'd approach it. Oh,
and I was interested if this was gonna happen. Yeah, Glove says, to heck with the rest of this stuff. I'm just gonna do Lower Norfair front to back. It's interesting. So obviously, like doing it the other way, you end your route here potentially. If you had found again, like it's really, there's so many like different variables that are hard to say. Like I'm already tripping on my words or whatever. But like you'd rather, end your route here so you're right next to Torian. But given the backtrack, I actually think this is better for her if she can do this and do it well.
Yeah, one of the things with doing the Lower Norfair from here back to front is it also does because she hasn't obviously finished the Ridley fight either, right? So it's gonna spit her out right at Kraid's lair. So this is pretty ideal for her in terms of like where it's gonna go, but her health is getting really sketchy, unfortunately.
It looks like she doesn't want to do the health refill itself. She's just gonna crystal flash here and like go for it. Again, like she knows it's not Ridley, so she just has to make it to what is Dragon.
Yep.
Dragon is the second worst boss down here, just because if you're doing it's the second worst boss here in a no various situation, as this room is not going as she would like. But if you have not like, you know, microwave on Dragon, basically like your options to kill Dragon are the grapple kill, which without Varia takes a significantly larger chunk of health than it would otherwise. You can do the standard ammo kill, which you're trying to use your ammo to crystal flash, so that's not the most, you know, tenable. If you have speed booster, the spark kill is also an option, but again, that uses your health. Like, Dragon is non-trivial down here, and Love needs to stop taking damage and stop taking damage now. I think she's good to make it to Fire Feast. The reserve's gonna pop. She should have multiple though, so. Oh, I was gonna say, yeah, manually pop them, yeah, all 300 because the Crystal Flash are full. I wouldn't. Yeah, I guess it. I wouldn't have popped them all just because if this is an E-tank, you just wasted like 300 health probably. Not 300, probably like 200 health.
Yeah, let's see how this works. She really does want to see an E-tank here. No Varia, so you don't want to be taking that spike damage, and that's an E-tank.
Yeah, okay. And again, the facial reactions, you can tell, like she had the thought that like I shouldn't have popped all of my reserves because now, like, you know, she literally has like 200 less health to make it down there than she otherwise could have, and probably just took a spike hit that she didn't want to take as well. And yeah, this is gonna be so if Zeb can do the amphitheater, he's gonna save this E-tank till later. So actually, this E-tank was good for both of them.
Yeah,
This is what happens when I speak definitively, Eddie. People prove me wrong instantly. Like he has the like ammo situation. Well, he has the ability to do the double crystal flash strat, but the thing about it is, like, look at his super count. It's 14, and he's like probably gonna use some supers on the fight. Like, the issue isn't the power bombs. The issue is like you have to farm up all of those supers. Like, they don't appear in your inventory by magic. This isn't the Turian elevator.
This is the Dre fight, right? I mean, I think
yes. My thought process is, with his current health, he could probably have made it to this boss without crystal flashing, and then if you get another E-tank, you can also like not crystal flash there, and then like everything's golden, right? But because of what's going on, like, again, like an E-tank at Space Jump, again, allows him to make it back to Fire Fleas without crystal flashing, but then you're at whatever his current super count is, and you want, like, you're gonna have to crystal flash before and after, right? Or you're going all the way up the back,
there's also
and, like, it's a long trek back to Turian.
Yeah, and
and he doesn't even know it's not at the front. He just knows it's very, very unlikely to not be at the front.
Yeah, so I guess what this is telling me is he's just gonna go probably back to back, but he does kind of want to go out the front. Now, obviously, if he gets a whatchamacallit, he gets an E-tank here, then everything's fine. He's not gonna have to.
E-tank and uses like no supers, yeah.
Yeah. He's not going to be using supers in this fight. He does have the grapple, so he's going to do the grapple kill here.
Yeah, that'll drain like all of his reserves, is the thing, because of the damage you take from that is environmental. So
yes,
gravity does nothing against it.
Yep.
But yeah, you definitely want to start with missiles, some charge shots. I was gonna say it's a little bit sketch as far as this because the goop does weird things when you do it late, but he got it fine. Oh, didn't pop the reserves.
Calculated. All right, this guy's a genius. All right, Glove is also taking care of this fight, but still has to take care of the Ridley fight. So, wow, E-tank. Everything's coming up Zeb today.
You know, as far as you know, we talked about earlier. Like I said, unbelievably good for the portals that happen in Green Bryn. This is
Yep.
like about the same level of unbelievably good. Like the way that he's done this and like how the things have panned out for him. Like again, like Zeb very much knows that what he wants to do is to go out the front here. Just
Yeah.
because whether it's Turian or not, it's gonna be next Turian. So yeah, he managed to like not use like barely any supers.
Okay, he
And
is not okay. He's going back to back. I would have thought at this point he would have just farmed some supers because this is enough. He's got like probably 300 energy of leeway to make it across the reverse amphitheater with this. And of course he could save like before doing it, but I guess he's just not going to do it. I guess that's how it is.
You know, and Glove is doing this the other way that I was talking about, where like you kind of just use your missiles, and you do. I mean, you have new route beam, which is it's 300 shots per hit, because like you don't want to use all of your crystal flash ammo, and you don't want to use all of your health grappling. The grapple, like obviously the more damage you do to Dragon, there's some. I mean, each tick does a certain amount of damage to you and a certain amount of damage to Dragon. Don't ask me for numbers, I don't have them. But like you get to a point like you saw on Zeb's side where grapple is a much better option. But yeah. Glove is being extra safe. And like there's been some talk about, there's a word that some people like to use for, the ways that people make plays that I am vehemently against and will never use and want to shun people for ever using it. But like Zeb's played this a bit more risky and it's worked out is the way that I'll phrase it.
Yeah. I think regardless of, I think both players have made pretty reasonably defensible decisions, but definitely everything that Zeb has pretty much done has just like worked out for him really well. I think after we're gonna talk, obviously there's still some more Super Metroid to be played, but you can kind of tell from like his reactions and whatnot that he's like really happy and pleased with kind of what's been going on with him. But yeah, Zeb has completed everything, so is going to be heading over to find his way over to Business Center to get to that Turian portal.
I was wondering what he was doing. I guess he wants there's two portals on the other side of Criteria which go to Upper North Fair. Probably he's gonna get his health back here. Yeah. Glove saves the ship twice at the beginning of the seed. Zeb saves once at the end. This does suck though. I mean, as you can see, like he was at like a tank and a half or whatever, and like it takes forever. So this was like not the greatest way to fill up. But it's a way. Yep. I was thinking maybe he was gonna like go out there and then like moat to wherever moat goes, one of the West Meridia things, and then West Meridia to wreck ship. But this, yeah, now that I'm saying it and it took me forever to say it, like what Zeb's doing is better. Just it was a really long ship refill.
I do have to agree with chat though. I do think that Zeb is actually just an unbelievable coward for not going out the front of wreck ship or front of LN. I'm gonna have to give him a stern talking to after that.
I mean, yeah. My current position on it is like the way that he like played, Business Center when he was there, as far as not checking the portals. Like he is allowing himself to have like the worst time loss ever. It's not gonna happen, and we know that. But like he's giving himself that possibility when he didn't necessarily have to.
I think one of the things though is, I think it's consistent with what he did. I think he just was thinking, okay, you're right. Obviously, if Turian wasn't here and it looped onto itself, that would be completely game over. Not game over. Well, it would be like unbelievably bad. But yeah, that'll be interesting to see. Kind of like what his thought process is. I'm sure he kind of did the calculations in his head and decided that this was maybe potentially the best play, because an elevator transition and stuff is nothing to slouch at, right?
Yeah.
So if you're kind of like going through the elevator transitions for the
Glove's refilling her health here instead of in Kraid's lair, and there's a possibility there's an E-tank at the E-tank, so I have questions. I think the answer is that she wanted to have her health full already, which again, like give yourself the ability to get an E tank at the E tank, but also like well, that's not nope. What I was gonna say is dumb because I was gonna say you can like fill up after you fill up supers on mini crate. Well, I guess you have to fill up supers on mini crate, right?
Yeah,
So whatever.
I think
You
it
can fill up
mostly
health
just
after
comes-
that.
It just comes down to like, oh well, I'm going to create and there's like the refill like right there. So that's probably what she was just thinking. I gotta get my health ready for this fight.
I also forgot because of whatever happened. She still is only at 30 max supers, so she's coming in here anyway. Yeah, I don't know. I would have preferred the refill in this room to the Slaughter's refill. That's all I'll say.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't like the worst thing anyone's ever done. Far from it, but slight optimization.
All right. So I guess one of the main punishes that we saw did kind of come down to that early gravity. Glove, unfortunately, not going down that West Meridian portal. She got that a little bit late, but obviously, given the Ridley information, some interesting things happened. But in the end, looks like Zeb coming out ahead for this one. Immediately getting grabbed. I'm sure he's not happy about that.
It looked like there was points at which the Ridley knowledge was saving glove time overall. Maybe I don't know because obviously the question that I have is like if Zeb Zeb just never got this Ridley knowledge until like he had to. So like he wasn't even really in a position where if he had done what Glove did and killed Kraid at Wreck Ship that he could have did the portals the same way Glove did and just done Wreck Ship front to back. But like I was thinking maybe that was another option. I don't actually I feel like for both of the runners what they did with regards to LN was fastest for them. As far as which was ended up faster overall, it's hard for me to say.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
All right,
Ridley done for Glove, so she is going to be heading over. Turian. Meanwhile, Zeb is struggling a little bit here with this sub skip, unable to skip himself.
Yeah. If you have screw attack, you have two options. Number one, well, you have three options. Number one, take it off and do your normal comfy Zeb skip. Number two, kill the first Zeb and then Zeb skip the second one. That's what Zeb did. And number three is to just do the down back, but because you can saw Zeb tried option number three and it didn't work, so he went to option two.
Yeah, the other thing is they have Ice Spring Balls, so if they kill the first Zeb, they could essentially do the GT Classic skip. Just kind of take care of that, so. Does conserve a few supers by not having to blow up all the Zebs doing that. And here we go. Still got this fight. Wonder if he goes for stand-up here.
He could. It's not the biggest time saver, but it would save an amount of time.
Mm-hmm.
I'm interested to see if Glove will take the ship refill as well. You definitely don't need to, because of area, you get a ship refill at the Turian elevator, and it's a very close, small hell run from the Croc door to Business Center, and you have grapple to swing across, but she's gonna take the slow refill as well. Health ticks up. So yeah.
Yeah, I think one of the things that's always hard, for me as well, is sometimes I forget how many reserves I have. I assume she would have been fine, because I think they have 3 tanks or something like that. I could be wrong on that, but I know they have plenty of reserves, so all would have been fine, but it doesn't take forever either.
We saw from her side in Ellen that she has 3, and she literally did not check Kraid's lair. She did not want to see Varia. Yep. She was just like, no.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, I don't need it.
Yeah, at that point, yeah, makes sense. It's not really doing you too much. I guess it might have saved her the refill in that specific situation, but if she can't do Ridley with that amount of health, then something has gone terribly wrong in the fight. All right, so stand up for Zeb. one more failure point, of course. Oh, okay. Well, that's why you take the refill.
Yep. That was definitely one of the supers Zeb had that Glove didn't. I, for the life of me, couldn't tell you the other one.
Yeah, definitely the super's pretty scarce in this one, but the charge showing up was pretty clutch.
Yeah.
Here we go. Zeb on the final phase of Mother Brain.
Crab Supers sounds right. Who said that in chat? Oh, it was Glove. That's who said that. Zeb definitely got the item at Crab Supers, whether or not they were supers.
Yeah, I remember.
Not at liberty to say.
The little crab scurried in the hole, and she was like, and then she just decided not.
And then
to
she
do
fell really fast.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, Zeb's in the escape. Glove is in Turian. This will be, for not having speed, this is about as good as you can get. Just got to do this room differently, and you can't spark up the climb. But yeah, I would say meta-wise, I think Zeb feels like it will be really hard to beat him here because, like, the way that you beat Zeb is you've had Varia this whole time, and like, given where it is, it's pretty unlikely that kind of anyone got it. I would say Glove definitely part of that. So we'll see where Varia is. Yeah, like you said, I mean, they both played this well. Obviously, Glove in chat may want to save the answer till after race 2 when we do our interviews, but could also tell us, how she felt about gravity and her relative timing for picking it up. But that's definitely the biggest difference here in this race.
Yep.
And I guess, well, we talked about earlier the portal knowledge. Like, Glove getting it seemed huge at the time. As it turned out, like, Zeb got it in a way more convenient way, which is just something you can't know. So, no fault of her own.
All right, so here we go. Zeb landing on the ship and finishing in first place with an official time of 1 hour, 5 minutes, and 27 seconds. GG to Zeb. This is not the end of the series. We have it's the best of 3. So we have another game coming up right after this one. Now, if it comes down to coming to the third game, that will be played on a different night. But obviously, stay tuned. We have another match coming up. But yeah, DJ, this has been a good match. I'm excited to see what's going to happen on the next one.
Yeah. So Glove, you saw her stop. She doesn't actually forfeit until 107.39. So I'm curious to see what she's doing in the interim. Probably there was some chatting. Maybe she wants to goof around and have some fun. Maybe, I don't know. No speed booster, so you can't do fun X-ray stuff with Mother Brain like her league teammate would have maybe shown us. But yeah, they have not created the next race room, so we have quite a bit of time before our next one will get started.
Yeah.
Like you said, this was a good one. Zeb up 1-0. But as we said, like one big swing is a lot of this time. That whatever the difference would have been had Glove finished. The rest of it, who knows? But yeah, we will be back soon-ish. Obviously, we're not dictators. We're not standing over our racers with, weapons of violence, telling them to go as fast as we want.
Maybe you're not, but
taking breaks is good. Hydrate, go to the bathroom, maybe grab a snack. Video games are obviously not, it's not running a marathon, but it does, take a physical toll on your body. Take care of yourself, all that good stuff. Breaks are good. We're not admonishing or, scrutinizing anyone for taking a break. We will take a break ourselves. Frankly, this will give me time to, throw down some dinner in my mouth because I'm hungry.
Sounds like a good plan, honestly.
Yep. And yeah, I am curious where Varia is. All right.
We gotta
I'm gonna
know.
say
We gotta
grapple
know,
beam.
DJ.
I'm gonna say grapple beam. What are you
You're
gonna
gonna say
say?
grapple? I'm gonna say the E tank. No, you know what? I'm gonna say the top of wreck ship. Oh no no
There's
no
two
no
up
no no no
there.
no!
Is it gravity
I'm gonna
or
say it's
reserve?
in waterway. It's in waterway.
Okay,
Ooh,
okay.
that's a spicy
Let's
one.
find out.
All right, here we go.
All right, missile, screw attack, X-ray, super missile. These aren't the things we care about. Green ball, grapple, high jump, ice beam, speed boost. Oh, speed was at grapple, so there's my thing. It doesn't want to tell us where Varia is. It's holding out reserve. There goes
Oh
Cutie.
my goodness! Wait a second. Wait a second. Where was speed?
Was that grapple?
Was that grapple? Oh my
Yeah.
gosh! All right. Well, I was kind of close. You know, same idea.
I mean,
same idea.
I had the thing that locked Varia's location.
Okay, we'll call it a tie between us then.
I mean, yeah, you said it was speed locked. A draw.
I guess I didn't
Until
say
next
specifically
time.
it was speed locked. It was just in a speed locked location, not the same one.
Yeah.
Oh, that would have been a spicy one. I don't think the other player was gonna get that one.
Yeah. So, yeah. All right. The race room is officially up, and the seed has been rolled. So yeah, a little over 10 minutes. We'll be right back at you with game 2 between Zeb and Glove. And yeah, until then, get up, stretch your legs, drink some water, eat some food, whatever tickles your fancy.
We'll see you soon.